Oh my God.
Isn't it great?
Chris.
I know, it's my dream.
I have goosebumps everywhere.
They might give me this though on here because it just dropped.
Making a mini shelf for my figures. Cutting that in half was a pain in the ass. Used vinyl wrap because I had extra. Back don't need to be perfect. Adding a piece of cardboard for support. And she's finished super easy and fast to make.
Welcome back to Cool Girl Crafts, where I show you guys a new craft to try. I was eyeing these tin can lanterns on Pinterest and I decided to recreate one of them. This DIY didn't really take much supplies. The only thing that actually might be a reach is a drill. Not everyone has them. Though I used a tin can, I wished I used a soda can, to be honest. That would have been way easier. With that being said, if you use a soda can, you can use thumbtacks to make the holes. Now, just because I used a tin can, it took a little longer than I expected it to be. For the fish I was painting, I ended up changing colors because the other one was way too green for me. Now I'm almost done. All I had to do was fill the fish in and now paint the little details on them. This is how it ended up looking like. Super cute so far. Now it is time to drill the holes on it. This is where it was time consuming for me. But I did it, guys, and this is how it ended up looking like. Now, because it is a tin can, you can actually use a tea light or an LED one. I ended up doing a comparison to see which one was better, and I ended up with the LED one. This DIY was so fun to make. I recommend making one. Thanks for watching. Bye.
Let's do a little DIY girly shabby chic lampshade project. For supplies, you're going to need a glue gun with glue sticks, some push pins, I didn't end up using the thread, bunch of lace, some blush pink ribbon and organza ribbon, fabric rosettes and roses, some pearl trim. You're going to start off by hot gluing some lace trim around the top. I just made the trim out of that large lace fabric that I purchased, and you're going to work in sections, laying the lace down in panels, and you're going to do that all the way around. And then I also cut out some little triangles to fill in those little gaps at the bottom, and then you're going to layer your ribbon and hot glue that around the top, and then you're going to glue that pearl trim all along the bottom, and then you're going to hot glue your fabric roses around the bottom at the seams. And then you're going to tie bows with your blush colored ribbon, and then you're going to glue those underneath the rosettes. And it should look something like this all the way around. And then you're going to take those tiny little roses and you're going to glue those over the centers of the ribbon bows. This is the final look. I purchased everything from Amazon. I'll be sure to link those in my storefront for you guys.
Hi everyone! I recently found this glass display cabinet on Facebook Marketplace, and the moment I saw it, I knew I had to get it. I've been on the lookout for a piece like this for ages, so I wrote the seller immediately. Luckily, I was able to negotiate a slightly lower price and paid €227 for the cabinet. First, I gave the cabinet a thorough wipe down as it had collected quite a bit of dust. After that, I put painter's tape on the glass to get it ready for paint. This step took a bit of time since I had to tape the glass on both the inside and the outside. Next step, I obviously painted the cabinet all black. Duh. I went with a semi-gloss black paint for the cabinet, so the surface would catch the light and bring out the details. I let the last layer dry completely and removed the tape, and then I gave the cabinet a thorough cleaning. Now it was time for the best part: decorating. My vision for this cabinet is to turn it into a cabinet of curiosities. I was inspired by the historical cabinets of curiosities from the 16th to 17th century, where people collected and displayed strange and meaningful objects. As a collector of taxidermy and macabre items, I knew this cabinet would be a perfect place to display some of my collectibles. The cabinet holds a real human skull, a jar of bones I've collected over time, and a selection of items chosen for their connection to the theme of death and impermanence. I'm honestly so happy with how the cabinet turned out. It feels special to finally have a cabinet of curiosities in my home, and I'm very grateful for it. Please tag me if you have a display cabinet. I'd love to see how you decorate yours. Thank you so much for watching.
So something that I usually cut out in my tutorials is when I don't have a long enough thread to finish my stitch. So what I normally do is I'll stitch until I don't have enough thread to keep going. And then at that point, I obviously want to secure all those stitches that I just did. So I'm going to run my needle through my hoop, not once but twice, and then pull tight, which will create a knot in the thread. And then I'll run my needle through my felt food and then cut off the extra. From there, I will then go in with my new thread and I will push my needle back towards my previous stitches, maybe 2 or 3 stitches back. And come up one of those stitches. Your main goal here is just to try to blend your new thread in with your old thread. So you're basically just overlapping your old stitches with your new thread. So you're going to come up and over the edge, come up that same stitch that you just made, and then you're going to go over a little bit, come up that same stitch that you just made, run your needle through the hoop, pull tight, and you're just going to continue this, come up the same old stitch that you just made, securing those old stitches but also blending in your new thread. And then you just continue your blanket stitch until you close up the hole. But yeah, usually in tutorials I cut that out completely and just show me stitching it up. But if you ever ran out of thread, this gives you an idea of how to start a new thread and how to blend it nicely in with your old one so that it looks nice and clean.
I've made an autumn-themed cotton cat before. Recently, I had a sudden idea to make a summer version. I'll still be using cotton to make the cat. Attach the little ears. Time to start painting. Today's is a little white cat, so I just need to paint the expression and the paws. And with that, we have a basic cat. The cat is basic, but the accessories won't be, so I decided to give it a bow and add some flowers for decoration. But the cat still looks a bit dull. So the next day, I changed it to this. An elegant white cat lying on a big empty bed is not very elegant. So, I decided to make it a hammock. Of course, this time the theme is summer. And when I think of summer, I immediately think of the shade of lush. Thinking of trees makes me think of leaves, so I made the hammock in the shape of a leaf. I'll take some twine and thread it through the leaf. Let's give it a test nap. It's very cat ergonomic. Now we need a frame to hang the hammock on. Create the texture and apply the paint. Hang up the hammock. An elegant cat lying in a simple hammock is not very elegant. It just so happens the cat's bow tie is also purple. So let's make some wisteria. Actually, it's not a coincidence at all. I've just been seeing a lot of miniature flowers made from resin clay lately, especially wisteria, which is so beautiful. Of course, it's also quite difficult, so today I'm going to give it a try. To fill the frame, I'd need at least 10 strings. I'm taking a shortcut. Time for the mold. Lift the mold, and out come the wisteria petals. Then, I'll place the petals on a sponge and press them a bit. And then, bit by bit, I'll paint on a gradient color. Then I'll glue the finished petals together. By repeating these steps, you can make a string of wisteria. Making 10 of these will fill up the frame. I was going to say, there are so many gaps I should make some leaves to cover them, but I think it looks nice in the sunlight, so I decided to add a few light bulbs to enhance the atmosphere. First I'll sort out the wires. Time to make the leaves. Stir until it's smooth. There are still some small lumps, but this is already the 5th cup I've mixed. When I first learned this method for making leaves, I immediately tried it out. The leaf I made back then had a smooth surface. Same recipe, same ratio, but today, after 5 tries, there are still small lumps. But you can only see them if you look up close, so conversely you can't see them from far away. It's just that the ground is bare right now, which is not very elegant, so let's make the grass. Squeeze on some glue, spread it around, then sprinkle on some powder, and the grass is starting to take shape. It just looks a little plain. So, I first made some stones, and then arranged them into a special path just for the cat. I also made some dried fish. To prevent other cats from stealing them, I hid the cat bowl inside the stones. And just in case the cat forgets there's dried fish in the stones, no 3 dried fish here. Of course, it still needs a bit of atmosphere, so I made some mushroom lights. But it felt like it was still missing some details, so I made some little flowers. I used the same method as I did for the leaves. Maybe practice makes perfect, because this time, the flowers have no lumps at all. They're perfectly smooth. I'll also put some flowers on the grass for a little decoration. Finally, I'll connect the switch.